Awesome! We're live, we're live, we're live. Hello, all my beautiful goddesses and gods. All right, I'm so excited because today we're going to do another chapter, so to speak, in exploring the mists of Avalon, the mystery, the paradise, the legend, the lore, and the truth of this sacred divine feminine place that exists at the same place that Glastonbury exists in the UK, in the southern UK, just full of magic. This place is unbelievable. I'm so excited. I'm going to be there for 5 weeks. Well, in a few other places, but primarily there for a month in October and September. So I hope that you'll join me. I have an incredible retreat aligned for you with all kinds of local goddesses and druids, and actually going into these places that are in lore and legend, where the Holy Grail is, where Arthur and Guinevere supposedly are buried, and where the goddess realms are, the Lady of the Lake, Morgan Le Fay, who is one of the Morgans. So today we're going to talk about the 9 Morgans, and I've been waiting for them to come forward to ask to share about them. So I'm going to start by sharing a little bit of who they are, because sometimes people have heard of the Lady of the Lake. Of course, you've heard of the Holy Grail and probably Morgan Le Fay, who is Arthur's sister and is very intertwined with the whole story of the Arthurian legends. And I'm holding my wand and I was afraid that I hit it. And she is the fairy queen. She was raised as a priestess of Avalon. She became the high priestess at some point. She was also demonized as a sorceress. As Arthur's downfall, she was Arthur's half-sister, and she took him when he was fatally wounded into Avalon, into the mists, and the 9 Morgans were also there to welcome him and heal him, whatever you want to call it, because one of the interesting things about the Arthurian legend is that, of course, it captures everyone's imagination. When I was a child, I loved it, whether it was the Disney movie or the stories. I used to read The Crystal Cave by Mary Stuart, and the idea of this beautiful chalice. And we're not talking about Christian or Jesus. We're talking about the idea of a quest for your soul's purpose, a quest for you to find yourself, to find your truth, to understand why you're here in a body as you, instead of just to go through an ordinary mundane life. That's not why we're here. We've been living that way, and yay, the opening is happening. We are at the 9th wave of consciousness, and to me, I may be the only person who's ever said this. However, the 9 Morgans represent the 9 waves of consciousness to me. Now, since there was probably not something in people's awareness back then, the 9th wave of consciousness is a Mayan concept that each level of their 9-step pyramids represented a wave of consciousness, and it relates to an entire historical period, the bottom being really long, like billions of years, right? And each one getting shorter. And you and I have lived through at least 2, maybe 3 of these levels, because each time they're getting faster, they're getting shorter. We're getting higher consciousness, world time, information is going faster. We know that. And around 2011, 2012, we entered the 9th wave of consciousness. And that is the wave of unity. What is unity? Well, it doesn't mean that we have to start to clean up our thoughts and clean up our fears. And like Mott said the other day in the soul lineage, you've got to bring the fear and dump the pain and the fear and the craving and the disappointment and the shame and all of that stuff out of your heart, because that's a heavy heart. That's a burdened heart. And a heavy heart cannot receive love, excuse me, and cannot give love. And our purpose here is to embody love, which Hathor then came and told us in the 2nd Soul Lineage show. So make sure that you subscribe and get notifications for our live streams. And you also go check out the playlists. So the Spiritual Weather Report, you can reference, which we're going to be doing on Friday. The full moon is Saturday. So I'm going to be with you on Friday, and we're going to do a peace meditation. So please plan to come. Please tell as many people as you can about it, whether they come live or not. The amount of energy that we bring into that peace meditation is going to have a profound impact. And the scientists are now saying that we only need 6% of the planet to raise their consciousness in order to have a tipping point. We can do that. We can do that. I've been doing this for 38 years, and I can tell you there's so many more people speaking this language now. It's amazing. Saturday, I'm going to do a class that was going to be a private class, and I decided everybody needs to know about it. So instead of including it as a bonus in the Intuition Awakening Summer Camp or selling it in the shop, what I'm going to be doing is doing What is Divination class on Saturday. Again, the replay will be here available. If you can come live, that's fantastic. It's going to be at 11 a.m. Central. We're going to send all this information out to you today, and we'll send you reminders if you get on our beautiful list at nanakasha.com. Okay, you can usually find almost everything that we're doing in the shop, and there are links to bigger, more beautiful pages than the shop has. If you want to see the Intuition Awakening School in a beautiful page, or you want to see the retreat in a beautiful page, you can do that, and the links will be there. And I don't like shooting on anybody. Also, don't forget that you can always reach out to us, support@nanakasha.com, with any questions. And I am going to be doing just 1 week right now, private conversations for 30 minutes about manifesting. What is it that you're attempting to manifest? What is it that you are wanting to manifest? And if you are interested in a retreat, if you're interested in the school, if you're interested in working with me privately, or secret, not quite ready, but about at the tipping point, our certification healing course of sacred magic, aligning with Celtic, Mayan, Egyptian lineages, bringing together those mystery school traditions, is about to be launched. So if you're interested in that, of course, I would really love to hear from you. And if you go to the Avalon page, you will see a link to book one of those appointments with me. Please don't come and just say, oh, I want a free session, just tell me all my stuff and walk away. This is really, I have a limited amount of time before my ear surgery next week, and I want to connect with those of you in the community who truly have a desire to be a part of this community in a deeper way, to mentor with me, to be in the community, to be in the classes, to be in the mastermind. So the certifications and the mastermind will be beginning again in November, and I'm going to be actually be doing a live certification in the early part of October in Glastonbury. So it's a separate thing than the retreat. However, all kinds of wonderful things are rising, and one of the reasons I love doing this work, speaking with the goddesses, speaking with the elements, remembering my fairy lineage, and gathering people like you, hi Brittany, hi Oshun, is that we create not just a sacred space, but a place for you to actually feel safe, to look within, to become who you truly were meant to be. And that is something way different than you've ever been told, ever been supported to be, ever been allowed to be. And to be honest, most people couldn't think this high 5 or 10 years ago, because the consciousness that was available, it's like a building isn't built yet, but you're looking for a house and you have an idea, but nobody has built it yet. Now it is built. And now we have the support of all of these realms in a very loving way to move from the patriarchal idea of violence and control, of bullying each other. And it's time for us to speak up. It's time for us to not hide our voice, hide our magic, hide our womb, hide our natural intuitive guidance and opinions and magic and abilities, because we're using them. We just don't know it. And we've all been taught that we're evil if we use our natural abilities of manifestation. So F that shit. And now let's dive a little bit deeper in. There's been a really interesting journey with the magical manifesting meditation, which I want to give you. So if you do go to the Avalon page and you get on that list there, we're going to give you that meditation. And every time I complete it, it disappears. It doesn't appear. The sound disappears. So something's going on with that. And we're going to see if today or tomorrow we can align that. And so divination is what the Intuition Awakening Summer School is all about. And one of the keys to awakening your ability, your intuitive abilities, is not just like any of my clients here who've been in it, if you want to share, it's just a phenomenal leap because of the way the container I hold, the abilities I have to see, to travel, to understand where your blocks are, to create activations that free you from the things that you may not even know that you're carrying. However, you also get that feedback. You get that process of confirming and having the confidence build within you that you do have these powers and that you know more than you think, and you speak more languages of light, and you have more 360 senses or more. So that meditation will be out soon. And let's see what else. Okay, we'll have a little bit of cacao. And thank the cacao goddess. Okay, so now let's, no thank you. I have this glitch on my computer where it keeps popping up and asking me to do something. And I'm like, no, thank you very much. So I want to say hi, Brittany. I love you so much, sweetie. Oh, Brittany and I are so connected through time and space into many, many mystery schools. And she is doing some really, really hard work for all women, for the ancestry, not just of her family, but for all women to stand in their power, to feel their light, to speak up under repressive conditions that may not appear repressive to others. And it's no different than bullying or repression in many ways. And so she comes into my meditations and my dreams last night. Oh, you were going with me, Brittany, a lot. And she's in my mastermind as well. Hi, Oshun. Oh my goodness. And Oshun is new to our community. And we had a beautiful conversation the other day. And wow, I'm so excited to hug all of you people in person, as well as communicate with you through the ethers. If you are in any of my classes, I do include you in my meditations and my healings. So you're going to be on a path of acceleration. Hi, Lucille. Oh, beautiful Lucille. Hi, Maureen. There's another one of my mastermind goddesses. And Sylvia. Hi, beautiful Erica. Hi. Oh, yes. Hi, Kim. There's another mastermind goddess. And hi, Marnie. Oh, right. Good. And I got to hug Marnie. And I got to hug Brittany. And is there anyone else here I've seen in person? They both came here to the Mayan land. And next March, we're going to be doing another Mayan magic activation retreat as well. So, okay. So first, what I want to do is jump in. It's not going to be 3 hours like the soul lineage things if you've been with me through those. However, I want to share a little bit before we dive into, yes, letting these beautiful goddesses come, because they've been playing. Now, the first thing to understand is that, oh, hello. Well, here's the retreat. So this is I just gave you the link below, and it's down below if you're in YouTube as well. And this is a sacred feminine magic retreat. What does that mean? You could be any gender, okay? It doesn't matter, because we are all waking up to these powers, and we're all balancing the sacred masculine and feminine. What does that mean? Well, the sacred masculine within us must support the sacred feminine to feel safe, to come up and have a voice, right? So we're going to work with goddess and dragons and earth energies and waters, the goddess temple, and I'm going to share their website with you today because I'm so excited. I'm renting the goddess house I don't know how many times while we're there, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place for this to happen. So again, if you are interested in this, you want to understand more logistics, in probably tomorrow, I have a lot of other things going on, getting my new Gnostic TV show ready, and other things. So one of the things is that I'm doing the detailed schedule now, and it's going to give you a lot more understanding about what we're going to be up to. So it looks like we started a little bit forward, so we'll just begin. This is the Infinite Show. I am Akasha. Thank you for being here. I've had a little caffeine today. I think I'm noticing that now. I don't normally drink caffeine. I absolutely love coffee, but I only drink decaf. Okay. So here I am at my beloved. I call it this is the pyramid of the moon. So this is the sacred feminine pyramid, but it's also called the pyramid of the magician or the seer. And you are. So today we're going to talk to the 9 Morgan goddesses of Avalon, and I'm going to share with you now some information about them. They're fun to read about, and yet they're fairly unknown. And I want to say thank you to my beloved Chris for making us this gorgeous. Oh my goodness, he made so much artwork for me the other day because we're working on, in between all this going on, we're working on our oracle cards to get them ready for you. And we're making a second deck, a smaller deck. And here's one of them. Here's Abundancia, our abundance goddess. And we are making one for Avalon, for Celtic things as well. Here is Delphine, our beautiful dragon of the earth. Here's our divine time traveler. And you are all of these beings. I'm going to show you a few more over here. Many of you have seen these before. Here is our mermaid. Got any mermaids out there? And here is your fairy godmother. And that's me. I'm your fairy goddess mother, and I'm super happy to claim that title now. So thank you, Chris, for making us this beautiful artwork. I love the reflection. I love all the color. I love the luminosity. And I love how that these 9 sisters are walking in a path together. You know, they're together moving in a flow. And we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the things about them. I want to remind you, like I did earlier, to make sure that you listen to the 2 live readings. Now, they're 2 and 3 hours long. However, there's a message from Mat, who's an ancient Egyptian goddess, and a gift. And then the second one has a message from Hathor's, also ancient Egyptian goddess, as really a lineage of beings. However, we've really related to them as a goddess. And I've re-listened to the message from Mat and from Hathor several nights in a row before I go into my deep out of body traveling experience that I do every night. And I'm finding them so full of information that I just downloaded, and I can't fully grasp it in my conscious mind because I'm going into a meditative state. Okay. And however, I know that it's going in. All right. So you can listen to it in the background. You can go forward and listen to some of the readings. And of course, if you got a reading, I would highly recommend that you listen to it at least one more time and take some notes, because in all of my private sessions and all my classes and everything I do, an enormous amount of information comes through, an enormous amount of energy from multiple dimensions comes through. I did a soul lineage reading yesterday with a lady. I was like, whoa, my head was spinning because she had 3 lives. One was Celtic, one was Greek, ancient Greek, and one was from Atlantis. And they were coming together with her now to weave a new, in Britain, they call it a braid, right? A new weave that is important, because who she is now here and who you are now here has to be the one that holds the space for your other lineages to come through. You are the one who decided to embody now. So throw out all your ideas that you aren't worthy, that you aren't good enough. It's all crap. It's all a lie. Don't tell yourself lies anymore. Don't make yourself sick anymore, emotionally, mentally, or physical. Watch out what you eat, and please come to the Intuition Awakening Summer Camp. We've extended the sale, so people are dragging their feet, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the energies that are happening, but we're moving in, and we're going to start the class on the 3rd of August. If you're familiar with the Lion's Gate, one of my all-time favorite times of the year, that's around 8/8, okay, of August 8th. And so that will be part of the energies in this intuition class. All right. If you're coming to the retreat or you're in my mastermind, you get 50% off of that class of the sale price. So make sure that you take advantage of that. And of course, there's also payment plans. So soul lineage sessions are in the shop. And this is a free class, a master class, including a meditation with Merlin. So make sure that you get that, because I want all of us up to speed. I want us all realizing, and just absolutely infuse yourself with this information because it's working with you on different levels. It's intelligent, conscious information. I'm a mystery school and a shaman and all these different things. And what happens is they combine within me, and then they come into the space. And then, like you pull certain rays from the sun, you pull these into you, and they are working with you. And if it feels like your life is falling apart, or things are challenging, or you don't know who you are anymore, or you just lost your job, that's okay. All right. Trust the unknown, because we're moving into it now. All right, so what are we doing today? We're manifesting the next level of wisdom, power, and prosperity. And I really do believe the sacred feminine energies are alive, and they're flowing, and they're calling you and me and everyone back to our hearts. And this is what the fall was about, the Big Bang, the fall, the flood, whatever you want to call it. It is when the Atlantean high priests decided that we had moved too far away from the light. We were no longer using the power, the spiritual technology in our hearts, and we crashed the whole system. It's been an extremely long, painful time in dark history of abusing each other and trying to figure out who we are. And now we're at a time when we can fully enter our hearts. That's why Mott came through the other day. We can trust our own heart. We can clear the fear in our heart. We can dump the bullshit, the stories, the soul contracts that say you cannot trust your heart, or that you are not able to be loving and kind, and move to have coherence, okay, between the above and the below. So the true reason that you're alive today has not really been revealed yet. You're just starting to get a hint of it, and it's amazing. So the promise that you made your soul has been hidden behind the illusion of pain and struggle and trying to live the life that you were forced into. That's get a job, be responsible. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? It's your fault that I'm feeling this. It's not your fault that anyone else is feeling anything. That's their responsibility. So stop taking responsibility for other people. Stop sacrificing all of your energy and time for other people, and put yourself first. You've heard it before. There's no better time to do it now. So bills and jobs that you hate, and not listening to your heart, and sacrificing your joy and your meaning for so-called security, it's gone, because there's no such thing as security. All the things you thought were security, like, oh, I'm married, or oh, I have a bunch of money in the bank, or oh, I have stocks and bonds, and I lost all of that in my divorce. So 80 houses, stocks, artwork, you name it, boo, all gone, disowned, everything else. And guess what? It led me to live this life now, where I have exactly what I wanted. And it's a simple life. It's on the beach with my beloved, doing this work. And I don't know that I would be here if everything had kept going the way I thought it should. All right. So now we're going to dive into the Divine Feminine Heart Center. Now, one of the things about Avalon, about Glastonbury, one of the reasons that it's so powerful to go there is it's considered the heart chakra of the planet. And the planet Gaia is waking up now as well. So the 9 sacred sisters are calling us, and you're going to receive their gifts today. We're going to have a message from them today. They are Divine Magic Sisters, and they have a lot of other names, and I'm going to share those in a minute. So this is going to start to stir that magic. And I love the word magic. I'm using the word magic more now because I want to desensitize you to it. I want to remove the stigma around it. Magic isn't evil. Witchcraft and magic and alchemy and goddess work and intuition, this is not the devil, okay? I want to make it clear that the church, the Roman Catholic Church, invented the devil. The devil is theirs. It is not ours. We do not subscribe to that. We do not practice that. And if somebody says they're a Satanist and they take the goddess symbol of the 5 elements and of Venus, the beautiful, and sometimes it's the Merkaba, and sometimes, right, it's the, I can't remember the name right now. I have so much jewelry with it. When it's turned upside down and somebody abuses that and says, we're going to take something and twist it and then blame you for it, that's another form of gaslighting. So don't believe in that and move past your fear. Now, all of these things is that you need to realize you're a sacred person. You're here for a sacred reason. Your body is designed in a sacred way. So it doesn't matter if you're not tall and thin and beautiful and this and that, if your body is having a disease. Some of my clients that I've worked with recently have had some really intense, painful experiences where their body almost shut down, and very unusual diseases and old parasites. And yesterday, the session that I did was kind of mind-boggling, because she was a child who was raised in the magic tradition, the way that the Tibetan monks go and look for who's the new embodiment of the Dalai Lama. And they find the children and they bring them in and train them from very, very young to understand who they are. And this is what she was, but this was in a Celtic tradition. And she could just touch somebody like this up their nose and over their head like that, and this light would appear, and it was physical in the experience I was having. This burrow would open, like if you cut the earth to put some seeds in it, like open all the way here. And oh my goodness, the vermin that was coming out, it looked like those Hieronymus Bosch, or whatever his name was, that artist who did all those paintings of hell, with these slimy, wormy demons and all this stuff. And it looked like these toxins were just coming out of people. And that was when she was so little that they left her in the forest and they left her in the roots of the tree. And she understood those things. And some of the things that happened to her, she only lived to 18. And her life wasn't all like, oh, I'm a goddess and she's flat. No, her life was a little bit painful, and she barely ate. And there were so many aspects that were fascinating to see. And this was one of the lives that she was bringing in. So her sacredness, her abilities in those lineages needed to come together. She was a young woman who was birthed by one of the priestesses of Athena in Delphi, and they all raised her. And we went to this time when this woman, not her birth mother, but one of the women, was nursing her and cradling her and singing to her in the pine trees in Delphi on the side of the mountain, before the masculine came and built the temples and everything, when the oracles and the priestesses of Athena were living in the caves and living on the land. And I can still hear the sound. The song had magic. There was symbols coming out into the air around her. And she was, again, being trained from birth to be one of these sacred women. And then we went to Atlantis. And so you have this too. I don't think, oh, that's not me, I'm not special. It isn't true. Okay, so let's get into the Sacred Isle of Avalon, because this between the world idea is true in every one of these places. When I took a group to Greece last year, we went to many different sacred temples and places. But when we went to Delphi, which is very special to me because I was an oracle there in 2 or 3 lifetimes, I had very vivid memories, even when I went there when I was 9 with my family, 9 or 10, I think we went. And we awakened and activated that Kundalini, that dragon of Gaia within the earth, and the navel back to that. And this is what we're doing when we go to these places. You're going to activate things within you. You're going to open to powers you never knew you have. And you also hold keys or codes or information or whatever you want to call it, lineages that you will bring to these places. And you don't need to know what they are. Just being there will, the land or the temple or the trees or the fairies or the 9 Morgans will receive that from you, and you will further our progression in this planet and our ascension. So the 9 Morgans are guides, they're obstacle removers, they're vital spirit guides to your divine feminine awakening. Why? Well, we're going to dive into that. So the mystical realms and these beautiful women, they fly through time and space. They're very fluid, all right? They move through the realms and you can too. That means they can be with you at any time, that you might want to feel that these sisters are around you right now, that you might want to gather around the sacred cauldron. Now, a cauldron is also something that's been demonized, right? Witches are evil and they're ugly and they're old and they're doing evil stuff, and they sit around a big cauldron and they make evil potions. None of it's true. It's all been, excuse me, I'm about to cough. Okay. Excuse me, blessings. Thank you. Disculpe. Perdón, as we say here in Mexico, is when truth starts to come through me, when the channeling starts to come through me, I have this up my nose in the back. And when I'm on a private session or a class, I usually am able to mute myself. The other day I didn't, so I apologize. This is citrine, and I'm always recommending that you have a piece of citrine. You can see this one, very old. I've had this a long time, would probably cost a fortune now if you could even find it, is extremely clear, full of rutilated gold. Of course, that's incredibly divine. It has a few little nicks in it now, so I try not to travel with it anymore. But you can also get one like this. It just matters that it's real. It doesn't matter if it's clear. And it holds the highest frequency of gold, wealth, clarity to help you connect and bring wealth into your life, see the prosperity and the abundance that's already here for you. And this is such an incredible being because it never lets anyone else drag its truth down. Okay. Oh, all right. So these beautiful women, these 9 Morgans, they travel through time and space and ethers, and the ether, which is the akasha or the dark matter or everything that connects everything. And you can communicate through the ethers. The ethers was considered nothing or considered bad. And now the scientists are realizing it's everywhere, and they're starting to understand a whole level, and the science and spirituality are finally finding something. And these they're interdimensional, they're multidimensional, they're not bound by time or space. Like, oh, I have to go to medieval times, or I wish I lived in medieval times. This is what I want to teach you, is that these guides are alive. Everything exists all at once. So you can instantly access anytime, any place, any lineage, any god, goddess, any animal, spirit guide, and my Hagwar, anything you need is available to you. It's a matter of whether you believe it, whether you're afraid of it, whether you have a whole bunch of goop in your head about whether it's possible, and a whole bunch of goop in your emotional field of fear around it. And that's why we need to unhook the soul contracts and do soul retrieval. And that is a combination of shamanic and energy healing and all kinds of different traditions that come together. So they are physical women as well. I know a lot of people don't like to or can't understand that, but I'm just going to drop that in as a seed. Okay. And they're considered to have a lot of virtues. Okay. And I want to share with you a little bit that the Goddess House in Glastonbury says about them, because of course they're very big. They're timeless beings, and they hold the essence of the sacred feminine powers of virtue and creation. What is virtue? Virtue isn't, oh, I'm going to sit in the back and let anybody tell me what to do, and I'm going to wear a really big, tight corset that makes me want to pass out and throw up, and I'm not going to have any right to vote and all this nonsense. That's not virtue, okay? Virtue is understanding that when you lie to yourself, that a sin is not something that you are, that it is a rejection of who you are. That is when you reject and deny the truth of your spirit, then you are sinning, quote unquote, to use a more religious term. So they hold the door open for you to enter your magic once again. And they're the key elements to mystery of the Holy Grail. And remember, the Holy Grail doesn't have anything to do with a lot of the aspects of it. It is the chalice. It is the sacred feminine container that has your soul purpose, your powers within it, and it is what you're seeking. It is what you're looking for. We are all on a quest, okay? The great goddess and the magic of nature. The nine Morgans often infuse trees, water, clouds, animals in this mystical landscape of Glastonbury. However, that means that they're very elemental. They interweave with different realms, and they are, of course, the Celts were really attached to trees, right? They were really connected to trees, and they came from a supernatural lineage of the Tuatha de Danann, which is another time. We'll talk about that. I am going to have a beautiful man who's on my show in August, several weeks from now, probably a month from now, who is an expert on these supernatural beings and their lineage. And I know I'm from that lineage, and you may be as well. So, they are in sacred ageless space. So timeless, ageless isn't about not becoming wrinkled. But it's that you're ready to reclaim your true intuitive healing and divination powers, which is why we're doing the intuition awakening, why we're doing all of these different things. So we're going to enter sacred space today with them. We're going to receive messages and transmissions and healings and guidance as a group. This isn't private individual readings like I did earlier this week or last week. So let's take a look. Annwn is the Welsh or the Gaelic term for Avalon, the Otherworld island of Avalon, which is present-day Glastonbury. And what happens is Annwn, which is sometimes spelled with a Y. There's a lot of women who've taken this on as their name. It's quite a beautiful name. And it's the Celtic Otherworld, or when we talked about the Lady of the Lake, which is in the Avalon playlist here, we spoke with her. She is that ability, that divine feminine essence to go through the mists, go through the veil, to enter these other worlds, and to remember that that is your natural ability. So the nine Morgans are all of these different things they've been called: nine goddesses, nine virgin priestesses, nine sorceresses. And a sorcerer and a sorceress are not necessarily evil, but again, that's been culturally embedded in us to think if you're a sorceress or an enchantress that you're using powers for evil. And that is just a whole story from other people, from the masculine element that took over the world and suppressed the feminine element, and women and men have been in both aspects. I mean, let's love our Merlin. And so a sorceress is someone who understands that their power can be used to harm and heal, that understands that alchemy, that working with the crystals and the oracle cards and doing divination, which we're going to dive into on Saturday, and we're going to dive into the intuition class, is a natural thing that we are meant to do. We didn't just get dumped here to forget who we are, be punished, suffer, and die and rot in the ground with a bunch of worms crawling through our body. That is not the truth. And unfortunately, that has been what we've been living. But we are now back in the ninth wave of consciousness. So they've also called nine sisters, nine maidens, and nine witches. And I'm reclaiming that I am a witch, and I'm a white witch, if you prefer to call it that. And I raised my children for 16 years inside of the goddess culture, very active in the ritual planning committee and in all kinds of things. And I can honestly say that when you find the right group that aren't abusing their power to do spells to bind people and do all this nonsense of anything you do to hurt someone else is not okay. So follow the tenet, okay? As ye harm none. Okay, as you harm no one and nothing. That means not animals, not the planet, not yourself, not your sister, not whatever. Do as you will. You are here to follow your own path, to create a new reality. What is your reality? What are your unique gifts? What are you reweaving now? Well, do as you will, but you've got to listen to your heart and then remember your powers and then always stay in that alignment. Never follow desperation. Never think you need a lot of money and then you'll finally be free. Never think that when somebody decides to like you or love you or agree with you, or your mother or your father or your brother or your sister or your husband or your wife or whatever says, oh, I agree with you, that it's going to last, or that they truly understand who you are and that that's what you need. And now you finally can be happy and your life can move on. It's not true. Okay. The concept of 9 supernatural women is all over the planet. You're going to find it in a lot of places. And many of you are probably into numerology and understand 9. 9 is a completion number. And now we have the 9th wave of consciousness, which is unity or reuniting with your truth. And it's a tradition from sisterhoods of priestesses in the old Celtic traditions, the old Celtic religions. So there was common to have 9 priestesses or 9 within a sisterhood. And it's also common in many cultures. Now, in the Celtic tradition, they are supernatural, which is an old medieval term for what we would call goddesses now, or what we would call magic realms, or beings that exist at the ascended master level or other dimensions. Okay. And they have the ability to travel realms. They guard a magic cauldron, which is the womb of creation. It is not a place where you make evil things. It is representative of the womb. All right. It is representative of what are you putting in your body? What are you putting in your sacral? What are you putting in your sacred ability to create? Your sexual energy is partially for joy and pleasure, and guard it. Don't give it away to people because they think they own you. And then if you have that abuse, and unfortunately, recently I heard about a 4-year-old girl at a daycare being raped by a 12-year-old boy. And I mean, please, come on. Let's leave this level of hell. Okay. This lineage and this ancestry, and perhaps you have your own stories. And this woman who found out about this because of her sister, friend of hers, child, then it triggered for her to remember some sexual abuse she had. So unfortunately, is an enormous number of women in bodies and men. I actually have had 2 clients who were men that were raped by women. I didn't think it was possible, but there is power abuse in all realms. As ye harm none, do as ye will. If you're going to hurt someone else and do something against their will, and even if they're too young or too afraid to speak up, that's not okay. And so if you're on either side of that equation, stop it. Okay. So a cauldron is that representation of our sacral. It is where our Genesis crystal exists, our 8 original cells. It is in that sacral center that we use 60% of our sexual energy, the most powerful energy that we can access from the body, for creation of all different kinds, not to create babies and not to have tantric sex and ecstasy and all that wonderful stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure that your partner isn't polluting you. And it's okay to say no. So what that cauldron is to take that 60% of that energy and stop suppressing it and stop feeling frustrated and thought, oh, I wish I could get to my creativity and I don't know. Just because you like to paint and you aren't painting right now, that's not your only outlet for creativity. If you raise that energy up and you learn to raise that energy up to your heart, and then you get coherence with your brain and your mind and your inner eye, and then your crown begins to open, now you're accessing the other realms. Now all of these realms can speak to you, and now you're in a flow of creation. Okay, so the magic women and the 9 sisters and the maidens and these goddesses standing around the cauldron is what? It's pretty powerful. Now, I want to bring your attention to that you have many, many chakras. I've activated in my first mystery school 33 chakras, and that was a long time ago. I teach 18 chakras, and my guess is that next year we're going to probably go into activating more. Now, what I want you to do is think of 9 instead of 7. The primary, tradition is to talk about 7 chakras, and your personal chakras are interdimensional portals or gateways that intersect with your physical body to bring in energy and take out energy that communicates through the glands, which then produces the hormones like serotonin, which turns into melatonin, which turns into DMT, which gives you the visions and opens you to the other realms, which heals your body and does all those other things that if you're out of balance and if you're eating shit food and you've been all these other things we're talking about, you can't produce. So that womb of creation, you produce an enormous, they're all plexuses, right? So we have root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, crown. Those are the 7 traditional ones. Now, If you join any class whatsoever, you get my 18 chakra chart. All right. And then we will be working with that both to understand, wow, I'm feeling it right here. Well, what does that chakra represent? What is the portal there? Or a color comes to you. There's rays of creation colors. There's harmony of music and color of the earth energies. And there's also the chakra colors. So they're communicating in different ways. What happens now if we decide to embody 9 sacred chakras? All right, those 7 and the soul star above you, your 8th chakra. This is where your higher self is. All right, and your earth star beneath your feet. You do not go from your root to Gaia. Okay, you go through your root to your knee chakras, to your foot chakra, a very important chakra, to your earth star. So I want you to start to think of earth star, root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, crown, soul star. And now you've created an egg-shaped container within which you're going to have a pulse begin, a new pulse for your body, a new pulse for your mind, a new energy, a new frequency, a new timeline. Okay, so enough about cauldrons, but I love this shit. So, and they have the magic abilities that are also including fire breathing. Like, what? Have you heard of a goddess that breathes fire? Doesn't that make you think of a dragon? Well, we got our dragon energies rising up. We're going to be doing a lot of work with the dragons as well in Avalon and in our sacred magic and in our intuition school. They've already asked to come in. So the most famous of the 9 Morgans is Morgan Le Fay. We've already done a show with her. We'll be doing many more. She is one of my most beloved beings and friends and sisters. And she's a fairy princess, okay? She's Arthur's sister. She's very tuned into the Arthurian legend. She's the one that took him back to Avalon when he was dying, and she's one of the 3 fates, and there's a lot more. And one of the things she embodies for us is that woman who is divine and is powerful and is connected to the realms of Avalon or to the goddess and can part the mists, and then was demonized as a sorceress and an enchantress and blamed for a lot of shit. Okay, so let's take a look at more of them. So right now, okay, 9 Morgans have this very rich history, and I want to make sure that you understand that Bridget, the Celtic goddess Bridget, is I don't remember what deck this is from. Oh, Goddesses, Gods, and Guardians by Sophie Bashford. And this is Bridget, okay? One of the images of Bridget. Now, she's a healer. She's a triple goddess. She's huge. She's probably the most well-known Celtic goddess. And that's what the British Isles is for. Britannia, if you've been to London, the big statue of the giant warrior woman, you know, with the chariot going. All of those are versions of Bridget. So it's really the Bridget Isles. Okay, how wonderful that the whole British Isles are named for a goddess. All right, so they have a rich history through Ireland, Scotland, England, and they also related to the sacred stone circles. How cool is that? Because those are beings that, wow, we've barely tapped into the secrets of the pyramids, the temples, whether it's in Greece or Egypt or here in the Mayan land, and these stone circles, which we're going to be going to. And we're going to be going to, on this retreat in the second part, we're going to be going to Avebury with Maria, the Gaia TV star, who's become my good friend, my mentor, who comes from the lineage of the Celtic and the Druid, as well as the Master Dowsers. And she's going to show us the proper way to go into the circle and where the cleansing stones are and where the different things. And we're going to be out at night. We're going to be out during the day. But we're also going to West Kennet Longborough. And it is a long borough where they're considered burial mounds. However, they are much more, and they have frequencies. We're going to be inside doing sound healing, activating, opening portals. And this is where the long-headed, long-skulled fairy queen skeleton was found, and was found in the 30s, put in a box, stuck in Cambridge University. And Maria went got it out. She was the first person to even look at it since the 30s and discovered that this queen is a lot of our lineages. So we're going to be really playing with the stones. Now, there's a megalith called Stanton Moor. Okay, we won't be going there this time, but it is actually called and known as the Nine Ladies. So it is the Nine Morgans, and they're often included in tales, not those kind of tales, but tales as in stories of knights with a K. Wow, you can tell that I talked this into my phone. And knights and other men killed these nine sisters, of course. So again, we look at a lot of these stories, and we're going to be doing a lot more of that, revealing these stories of why were these women and these goddesses like Medusa demonized when they were beautiful princesses, where they were benevolent goddesses, where they were healers, where they were helping people, and then they were killed and they were hunted and they were demonized in that. So there's a lot of stories about them being killed, and then really nothing else was told after that. But you know what? You can't kill us. Ha, 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 we're eternal. Okay. They were pagan priestesses of the sacred feminine Isle of Avalon. And all the myths and story, we're talking about that. So we're just beginning to remember that. And the Nine Morgans wish to come and carry us into this world of magic. So they often relate to different virtues. We talked about that already. And they can guide you from your fear and your lack, your perception that you don't have any power, or you don't have any money, or you don't have a way to do this or do that, or become free from your current situation. There's so many women who have divorced and become poor, or had to live in poverty, or had to struggle, or are single mothers, or even within relationships are suppressed and unvalued and many of things. And then there's also relationships where there's just a misunderstanding because we're all changing our roles that we're playing, men too. Okay. So these Nine Morgans can be very loving and kind, and they can be very direct and a little bit like kick your ass. And yet this understanding and empowerment of nine sisters, nine maidens, nine witches, nine goddesses that are holding this space around you or your womb or your ability to create is very powerful. So the magical Isle of Avalon is a paradise called the Isle of Apples. And we're going to be actually going to the apple orchard of Avalon in this dimension to create an earth mandala, with our little Celtic white witch who's going to co-create a beautiful day with me. And we're going to source our wood for our wand that we're going to create, that you're going to, oh my gosh, it's going to be amazing. You're going to take it home, a scroll in a box. So they're known as magic, shapeshifters, time travelers, and healers. All right. So this is just to give you a few more ways that you may connect to them. All right. There's much more to them, but this is just to give us a little bit of a start. And here's their names. I may not say these right. Okay. Morano, thank you for being here. Mazoe, thank you for being here. Glitonea, thank you for being here. Glitten, Cliton, Tyrone, Thetis, and Morgan. Morgan or Morgan Le Fay. Morgan started as Morgan and eventually became the beautiful, wise, and powerful queen. Okay, now I want to share one more thing with you before we dive into letting them speak to us. And let me see, adore the Tuatha De Danann, me too. I thank you for writing that in the chat. Anybody take a look at what Erica just said? I wonder if there's a way for me to stick that up on the screen. Maybe I star it. No, I don't know. There we go. So that's how you spell this, Tuatha De Danann. And if you're interested in the Celtic traditions, if you're interested in magic or goddess traditions and fairies, in fae, in some of our original beings, even the monks wrote about them as real beings. The ones who first came in, tried to kill all the Celts and the goddesses, and then were stationed in Ireland and Scotland to keep that repressed. But they had such deep respect that at a spiritual level that they wrote about them as real spiritual beings. So they are just an incredible opportunity for us. Okay, so I don't know how to get rid of that now. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's see. I have to figure out how to to switch screens without having to close it out. Okay. I want to share this with you. I would recommend that if you feel drawn to this in any way, that you, if you're on Facebook, follow the Goddess House of Glastonbury. I was so delighted when I discovered them about a year ago, and maybe not quite a year ago, because it just took me right back to my goddess days. And they have created a temple and a house and all these rooms, and they post beautiful posts on the solstice and about different goddesses and everything. So you can go check this out. The Goddess House.com. And this is from their blog on the 9 Morgans of Avalon. So I was thinking that it would be just such a beautiful thing to just read what they say and give them credit here. So Avalon is ruled by the Lady of Avalon, a goddess of love, beauty, power, and wisdom, a lady of light and darkness who appears in several forms and under several names. Among the most ancient are those of the 9-fold sisterhood of the Morgans, whose names were recorded by the Welsh poet Taliesin in a story about the life of Merlin, Vita Merlini. And the names are, we went through those already. So all of which appear to be largely unknown except for Morgan Le Fay, which is much aligned, as we talked about. Now, of course, if you haven't read or watched The Mists of Avalon, it's very fun, and it does really, in some ways, carry some of the traditions under. I found it really difficult to read. It's a huge, thick book, and maybe you could get an audio book now. It took me 3 times to get into it, but I was in the goddess world, and my goddess sisters kept saying, "Oh my God, you haven't read this. Oh my gosh, you haven't read this." Now, I learned from Maria that that's a very American thing, that most of the Americans who come here talk about the Mists of Avalon, and very few British or European or people from other cultures do. So just for interesting. However, once you get into it, because there's a lot of the lineage and goes back to Arthur's mother and her lineage and the Lady of the Lake coming to these women who became queens, who were asked in their soul purpose to live their soul purpose, their soul commitment. You can't live someone else's, to birth people like Morgan Le Fay, or to birth Arthur, and to do certain things to bring forward a new age on the planet. And the goal of Camelot was to marry the goddess and the god, to marry the new world of the patriarch with the goddess world, the matriarchal world that was being conquered. And the attempt was to blend them and to only bring Arthur to be the king if he was willing to be the once and future king. And he had to be initiated into the goddess realm as well. So very interesting if you're interested. So the 9 Morgan sisters encompass all the qualities of the goddess on the continuum between light and darkness, sweetness and sour, positive and negative, creative and destructive. The Morgans are famous for their learning and knowledge of the 7 liberal arts, particularly astronomy, astrology, mathematics, and physics, and of course, magic, which is those things blended together. They are renowned for their healing arts and their skill in herbal lore, their beautiful music, sensuality, for prophecy, and the ability to shapeshift and to appear in different places in a moment in time. So that's why I told you they're still very much alive, even if you've never heard of them. There are 9 women, 3 triple goddesses ranging in age from maiden to mother to crone, and there are 9 dark cloaked figures who sit in a circle with the cauldron of inspiration, immortality, and rebirth in a cave deep beneath the Glastonbury tour, which we're going to be on top of and within, and we're going to be doing climbing up and going into the sacred springs, and we're going to be activating, and we're going to be watching the sunset, and oh my goodness, this is where we're going to be. And there is a cave, and that's called the White Springs, and we're going to have private time there. We're going to go in there, and some people go in and get naked and get baptized in there, and it's quite amazing. They have temples and altars to gods and goddesses and everything. So in the underworld of Anwen, remember we talked about that, the other world, okay? There are 9 huge shimmering beings visible in the ethers surrounding the top of the tour. So if you go there, perhaps you will start to see them with your eyes, because when you come on my retreats and we do activations in these sacred places, that is one of the most common things. People open their third eye, they open their senses, they have a quantum leap from where they were. I had one man come 5 times in a row to all of my retreats here, because he said every single time I have this, within a week, I have this quantum leap in my abilities. And when he first came, he was very, very close to those abilities. So one of the things that happens is after an activation on the tour, in the Chalice Well, or in there at the Avebury, or in the Goddess Temple, or all the places we're going to be doing all of this magic, all this healing, all these activations. So most often people will open their eyes and see with your physical eyes, see the auric fields, see beings, see colors, see things. And that is becoming a connection that's an overlay, because your physical eyes can't see those things. However, there's another level of that. Sometimes they're seen in the forms of willow trees that guard the magical isle, and as shadowy figures hiding behind the trees in the apple orchards. Occasionally, they may be glimpsed by mortals as they disappear away into the mists, and they often surround the sacred isle. In the natural landscape, they appear in the form of black crows, white doves, green woodpeckers, and hawks, okay? A lot of winged ones. When the legendary King Arthur was dying of his fatal wounds from the Battle of Camlan, he was taken to the shores, and he was placed in the barge, the black barge, that ferried through the mists by the boatmen, and he knows the patterns of the water, and their passage was accompanied by 3 fairy queens, the Queen of North Galles, the Queen of the Wastelands, and Morgan Le Fay, Arthur's half-sister, Morgan Le Fay, or the Fairy Queen, the Fate. And so that tells you just a little bit more about what we're doing here. Okay. Hi, Morgan. Yay. How fun. Oh, Morgan is one who has come to many of my retreats, and she came to Greece last year, which was wow. And I would be love to play with you here. Please say the one between Morgan and Thetis went by too fast. Oh, sure. Let me just share that really quick here. Yeah. Okay. While we are doing that, here you go. Terranoa. I do have to get better at knowing how to speak these. I actually had friends in Wales, 2 friends, and I went to several sacred wells and places in Wales with them, and a British friend from Manchester, and who was in my mystery school, went to, not mine, but the first one I attended. And we did a lot of really powerful work together. And so I did learn, it's been quite a while though, been probably 18 years now, how to speak some of these Welsh or Gaelic words. So I'm going to give you a second to get those down while I have a sip, because they're doing that pressure on the back of my head and my neck is happening. So I know that they're ready to come speak. Okay, good. So I will make a note to make sure we put that in the replay email. All right, so the replay email should go out this afternoon, could go out, will go out, may go out, and this afternoon. And it will also include our full moon peace meditation on Friday and our divination history and activation of what are they and how to free yourself from fear of divine communication on Saturday. And all right, so my loves. Hi, Lisa. Cat girl. Avalonia and I are both under the weather at the moment. Oh, I know. You said that she was not feeling well. So remember that you're not under the weather. Isn't that an interesting term? Maybe it's a good term. I wonder how that would feel if we activated being under the weather. So when we're sick, of course, we know. I'm just sweating as I always do with this kind of work. Is just literally soaked my pillow here. Realize that you have the need to step outside the world. And sometimes we do it intentionally and sometimes we don't. So the power of going to a retreat means you leave your normal world. You step outside of your responsibilities. You get out of your house. You get out of the people you know. You travel. You interact with energies. You go to sacred places. And you have a sustained amount of time. Ideally, Joe Dispenza's done a lot of studies on this with the brain, that 7 to 10 days is optimal for you to actually change a habit or to shift something. So when you have the inability to function in the way that you normally do under the weather, and I've had recent eye surgery, 5 weeks, and they're really bothering me. And I got these big bags and they're recovering, but I can see without my glasses. And I'm having ear surgery, pretty intense ear surgery next week, weather permitting. It's been very difficult for me to not be active and not go for my walks and my swims on the beach. And yet I understand there's another reason for that time frame. So you want to surrender to it, make sure that you're not arguing with it, getting upset with it, fighting with the concept. Oh, I should be doing this. I'm getting behind, and all those busy ideas. It's not true. So perhaps the 9 Morgans they will. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. They're just like, what do you mean perhaps? Okay. Let's do this thing. Oh, what a lovely idea. Thank you. So they're asking me to share with you that. And I do. Okay. I do. That's true. All right. I'm sorry. I'm speaking with them right now. And so I was sharing that Chris, my beloved, made us all of these beautiful 9 Morgans graphics the last few days as we're creating our Celtic oracle deck. And also, okay, I think I put them. And I like to share these with you because the images have a lot of magic in them. I do the magic to call in the energies, then I give the description to Chris, and then he goes and does it, and then he shows it to me, and I go back and we go forth. And we're doing this in a trinity, I would say, with the energies of whoever that is. So he also did some chalice ones for me for our magic chalice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, perfect. There's one. Some of these don't have 9 women in them, so they were kind of interesting because they're like, oh, I love this one, but there's not 9 women. And so we've been working with that. But also the chalice has some power to it because this is your sacred feminine. It's really been taken over by the masculine, right? However, it isn't. It isn't a masculine concept at all. The sword and the chalice is all about the sword being the masculine representation, right? And all right, I think that's good. That's good. Ooh, this one's nice. All right, I'm going to just put these up here for us so that we can enjoy them and receive some of the energies from them. So what I want you to do, of course, is turn off your notifications, start to breathe, light a candle or some incense, just relax into the space. If you haven't already started to feel the 9 Morgans, of course, they're here and we've been talking with them. We've been calling them in since this morning. And the beautiful part is that the energies are eternal, right? So if you're listening to the replay, they're here. If you're listening to anything that is on a digital image, it's capturing the essence of that. Anything we're doing here is capturing the essence of the day, the moment, you know. So if we do a full moon thing, we're capturing that as well. So let me just see here. Yes, I think we'll do 2 more. Okay, just show me which ones you want. And yeah, I agree. That one's a really beautiful one and has a presence to it. So, okay, these are just a few that we will play with right now. And so as oh, I know my loves, they're so sweet. They're so wonderful. So like I said, a lot of goddesses aren't just all lovey-dovey cutie pies. They're they do hold and embody some pretty kick-ass shit, right? Some Kali energy or some kick-ass energy, and they are never weak. All right. So here is another. Making sure this is another image that we've created for our Celtic Oracle deck, and we haven't furthered our magic on it, but this is our 9 Morgans. And you can probably see which one is Morgan Le Fay in the center there. And the reflections in the waters of Avalon I wanted a very mystical, magical, mist kind of energy to this. I wanted the goddesses together, but I wanted the reflections, because one of the things we will be doing is going to the lake in Avalon Abbey and doing some reflective work, you know, seeing the reflections. And I did a guided thing the other day on some show where we did that, and the chalice appeared floating over the lake. All right, here's another one of the 9 Morgans. And of course, you know, I love color. So again, this is bringing in that color. We're going to be able to see and feel more colors. And it is one of the most important frequencies that we're activating, because the earth energies actually have colors as well as sound. Thank you. I don't need that. And here is our chalice. And this is our magic holy grail or chalice at the top of the tour or the aisle in the tower that exists there now of St. Michael. So I'm sharing these so that you can, and we want to say thank you, Christopher, for your beautiful artwork, and thank you to all these energies for being willing and being present to come through us to activate. So they're speaking to you, and you want to just receive. You receive through your eyes, and then you receive through your skin. You feel that energy is coming. Breathe it in. Bring it down into your own chalice or cauldron. Yes. So there's a lot of healing happening right now through these beautiful images. And this is the one that we used for today. This one right here. All right. Again, what I asked for them to do is to bring through Chris into, for us, the Avalon Lake, okay, that surrounded the aisle, the tour, and the beauty of nature, because they are elemental. They do embody nature, flowers, trees. They're also very mystical, right? They're between the worlds. You can see that they're coming into form, but they're sort of mystical. I love how they're all different sizes and heights and energies, and they're all in concert. They're all going in that same direction. And not that we have to be, but it's part of the energies that they wanted to convey, that I wanted to convey, and the reflection. And the beauty is, oh, I should do that, is that if you look at the reflection, that is you, and that they often appear in your reflection, or that they may be actually someone or something that is reflecting to us, like you understand the concept of someone reflecting, being a reflection to you in your life of where you're still letting other people tell you what to do or take away your power of choice or whatever it is. All right, so I'm going to leave it here so that we can enjoy their magic, their mystical energies. Wow. So a lot of these divine feminine and masculine energies, Merlin, the Lady of the Lake, Morgane Le Fay, the Nine Morgans, and more, have been bringing new symbols, new magic, new memories from not just the Celtic lineage, but really that universal and multidimensional realm that we all exist within eternally. And they really work with this inner eye, with our brain and our body in a way that brings the multidimensional, the supernatural. Thank you. They do like that word. That supernatural realm, and sinks it right here within us. So I want you to take a deep breath in, and I want you to bring it in from your Earth star, so below your feet. Feel it, watch it. What color is it? Are the Morgans dancing in there? Up, 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 up into your soul star. And leave that breath there. Now bring a breath in down from your soul star. Down, down. This one is winding. It's unraveling your DNA. It has all these colors. It's got all of the nine Morgans in it. It's spiraling through your body, spiraling through your womb. They're going in, they're surrounding that cauldron of your creativity and all the way down into your Earth star. I am that I am, Ea, Esher, Ea. I am here now, fully present. I am ready and willing to be that clear conduit, clear channel for my truth, for my powers. I no longer will deny myself, and I ask for these divine goddesses, witches, maidens, sorceresses, sisters to come to me, to bring me back into this sisterhood, to bring me back into this magic circle. I accept this spiraling energy into my heart, into my mind, into my cells, into my aura, into my emotional field. I ask to be freed. I ask to be a clear and open channel, ready and willing right now, right here, to harmonize through these colors, through the harmonies of them, through the full color spectrum, through that eternal bridge of the rainbow tribe. Let us all be one again. Come, my sisters, surround me. I enter the sacred cauldron. I enter the sacred space. I hold now within me all that I am here to create, like the child, like the seed that is waited within me. I am ready, and now I remember my sisters. I stand in the center. I stand in the fire. I stand in the cauldron. I receive the medicine, the herbs. I receive the magic. I receive the truth that is here to feed me, to nourish me, to bring my creativity into the birthing of this moment. Yes, now is the moment for me to become again the magic, to release the sacred magic from within me, to release the fear that holds it down, to release the stories of repression. I ask these nine sisters now to come, release my creativity, release my full expression. Let me rise in my beauty. Let my voice be a blessing, be a healing, and be strong to build a tower of light, to hold the chalice of my truth. I now enter and ask permission unto Anwen, Sacred Avalon, to the Celtic Otherworld, to the realm of the divine sacred feminine, to enter this realm that's been forbidden, that's been suppressed, that's been demonized, to enter this realm with full freedom. I'm ready to own my powers. I'm ready to open my eye. I'm ready to whatever this has for me, because my prosperity, my purpose, and my health, my happiness, the entire purpose of my life, I know, is turning right now in a completely new direction. And I ask that the portals open around me, the 9 portals. I open now the spiral staircase that allows us to enter the cave in the Tour, the cave in Anwen. Now you feel yourself soaring across these waters, seeing the reflections of these divine goddesses. These are the reflections of you. These are the reflections of you that you're ready to remember, to unify with, to activate, to become. Now is the time to take your magic into the world. Now is the time to embody it. No more waiting. Soar and fly through time and space. They are around you. They are above you. They are within you. You see them in the beautiful reflection. You see the flower petals. You see the apple blossoms falling onto this beautiful water. It reflects to you the truth of the seeds, like the apple within, the seeds of this divine fruit. You have carried this through all of this time. You have guarded this through all of this time, and now is the moment of reunion. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now you have crossed the lake and you are ready to enter the cave of the 9 divine sisters, the 9 waves of consciousness, the keepers of creativity, truth, magic, wisdom, physics, math, everything that opens magic, the alchemy to transform anything, not to gold, but to power. And that is why gold was hoarded, because you could take it and you could transform it into power and light. And you could put the entire world into communion together. And they didn't want that. And they didn't want you. And they said you weren't good. And they said you can't have. And they said you never will. And they said you don't have. And they said, who are you? And who do you think you are? And they are fading. Yes, they are melting in the cauldron. They are melting from you. They are unhooking from those pains and those agreements and those contracts that you've made. They've been pulling from your cells. You can no longer hold these pain. You can no longer hold these writhing, toxic demons of falsehood within you. As you enter our sacred cave, you cannot come into the womb of the goddess. You cannot come into this divine, great goddess cave with these illusionary masters. They may have killed you, burned you, stolen from you. They may have imprisoned you and taken away your right, your power, your voice. They may have taken your land. They may have taken your wealth. They may have taken your reputation. It didn't matter. You're eternal. And now you are here once again with the sisters. You are here once again with us. And we will never, ever, ever leave your side. In fact, we never have. We've faded into the mists. We have hidden our magic, our truth, our power from those who wish to use it against you, against others, those who wish to wage war, those who wish to kill, those who wish to empower and make guns, those who wish to rule from greed and fear. This is not the truth of this divine world. And we have protected it all this time. And you now know that you have within you the power. Continue to throw all these writhing, poisoned darkness, the Morgans, They are helping you. They are surrounding you. They say you cannot come deeper into the cave. You cannot come into the womb of magic. You cannot bring this in here. But don't worry. They're pulling them from your 9 sacred centers. They're pulling them from your earth star. Yes, they say. Yes, this is the moment. Yes, I am Moranoe, and I am pulling these from your earth star, that you no longer live in the realm of the 3rd dimension with these toxic truths. Allow her to pull them from you, throw them in the cauldron, release them willingly with gratitude. You may feel a shift, you may feel a lightness, you may feel pain and struggle because this has been your truth for so long that you have used it to survive. You've used it to protect yourself. You've used it to hide. Now you're going to walk and make the earth a place that is safe for all of us to have direct access to our powers. Now, Cliton, she brings forward the power of the root. She pulls from your root all the toxins and throws it in the cauldron. You see sparks and smoke come up, and your root is clear. She bows to you and takes her place around the cauldron. Now Fetus comes forward. She stirs your sacral. She says, yes, my beautiful, it is time. It is time to take the shame and abuse and pain. It's time to be that sacred, sexual, divine goddess of all the powers, to be the creator, to remember, to own your own body, to never let anyone take it from you. She pulls all those dark, writhing, toxic truths that were never true and throws them into the cauldron. An explosion enters this cave. And now tiny, sparkling fairy dust comes down over us all. She takes her place around the cauldron. Now, Glitonea, she moves forward. She reaches into your solar plexus. She stirs it around. She goes into the darkness. She pulls it out. The light is pouring in. The sun is pouring in. She keeps pulling and winding and pulling and winding and pulling and winding and pulling and winding and throws it into the cauldron. It melts and lets out a sigh. Oh, yes, I am light once again. And she takes her place around the cauldron in the sacred circle. You feel your body thriving now. This is so much, this clearing, but it is my time to be clear. Open your heart, 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 open your heart. Mazoe is here. Mazoe. She enters your heart. She goes all the way in it. She opens the doors. She dissolves the walls. She breaks down the barriers, and she goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and she rises out of it like an angelic presence, and she pours it from the chalice into the cauldron. It enters the cauldron and becomes part of it. Ooh, that pain, those walls, they now become wisdom, and she takes her place in the sacred circle. Now, be ready for your voice to return. Be ready to know, to feel, to communicate. Be ready for your intuitive skills to take an incredible leap. Thetis is here. Thetis, whichever one is here, she pulls from your throat and throws it into the cauldron. No more will your voice be repressed. No more will you hold yourself back. No more will you feel the need to protect yourself. You can speak your truth now. Rising now is a beautiful mist, and within it are the ancient grandmothers. And they say it's time to weave your dream, to use your voice, to sing the song of your truth. And they surround you. They enter your throat. They watch. They guard. Now it is time for Glitten. She is entering your third eye. She says that I am the light, I am the love, I am divine vision, and I gather, absorb like charcoal, all the toxins that you have absorbed, all the hardening of the inner eye, and all of those vows that you took to not see. You see through the veil. You see through all. You see with your own unique truth. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is, and she throws it in. It looks like the evil eye. It opens and expands. It begins to pulse vibrations like ripples of colored waves in this cave. You can feel them. And she stands in the circle. Now there are only 2 spots left. One for Morgan Le Fay and one for you. Morgan, fairy priestess, goddess, queen, the fate, your divine sister. She comes to you now. She opens your crown. No, no, no. There is one we have forgotten. She says that I am the queen, and I open your crown, and I open your crown now. But there are more than just the 2 of us left. Ah, yes, I see now, I see now, I see now. I know. Allow her to move into the crown, to pull from each of the coronets the plugs that you have put there. As she pulls them, she throws them one at a time into the cauldron. Now, the last, all the sisters are here. You are almost ready to enter the circle. Morine, Mazoe, Glitonea, Glitten, Cliten, Thetis and Morgan Le Fay, and now Tyrone are here. And she opens your soul star. She pushes the doors open, like pushing open the shutters, like pulling back the curtains, and says, no longer are you separate from your truth and your soul star. She takes down the curtains. She takes down the shutters. She takes down the walls. She throws it piece by piece by piece into the cauldron. Now, all of these divine, beautiful colors are pouring from the cauldron within. It is becoming a chalice. It is becoming a chalice that is no longer the truth of holding you back. It is becoming the chalice of your beauty, of your magic, of your ability to create. They say it is time for you to enter the circle. Come fully into the cave. Enter Gaia's womb. Enter the circle of sisters. Take your place. Begin to sing and hum. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain, flowing to the Avalon, into the mists and through them, into the magical Eye of Apples. We will be sisters throughout time, throughout space, throughout all. This is your eternal state. Om, 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 Ai, Ah, ooh, oh. Receive these colors, this magic, this sisterhood. Receive the messages and the healing that is here just for you. All the realms of the great goddess are here now. You have been welcomed back again. You are one with this sisterhood. Receive this gift. Walk in your eternal nature. Remember, there is nothing that can hold you back. Only you, only your belief in the lies. But you have been freed from this now. Remember and call us, and we are here. Come back, fly through the mists, and look at the reflection, because there is the truth. That is the truth. There is nothing to keep you from this truth. Morgane says, turn your fate into destiny. Transform everything back into your soul power. Any misunderstandings only need to be released. You can hold within you the truth of your power. You can hold in your hands the mists, the goddesshood, and all. Now everything becomes white. Everything becomes misty. The apple blossoms are falling. You're now standing on the shores of Avalon Lake. You see the 9 Morgans dancing in their white flowing gowns, the butterflies, the birds, the beautiful willow trees. You feel and sense their presence. Their reflection is there for you. They bring you the everlasting life of the divine goddess symbol of the Ankh. They bring you the eternal sacred Celtic knots that show that you weave through time and space, that always come back to the center. And now, as you take a moment to receive this with great gratitude, to acknowledge and allow yourself to truly be the one who has been called here. The dragons are here. Your sacred animals are here. Merlin is here. The Lady of the Lake is here. The sacred waters are here. And the divine great mother, the great goddess, the great earth, and the crystals, they're all here. They're here for you. They've never left your side. Welcome back, sister. Welcome home. We are a river of birds in migration, a river of women with wings. We are a river of birds in migration, returning now to the truth of our soul. A nation of women with wings. Remember, you are one with the earth. It is your body. Your blood is the water. Earth, my body. Water, my blood. Air, my breath. And fire, my spirit. I am the connection, the center of the cross that creates this moment. And I now reclaim my power to create. We give great thanks as we close this circle to these divine 9 sisters, to all the other guides and elements, and to our own souls, and to all those lifetimes that we have traveled, and all those pains and illusions that we have suffered. And now we know that we are the alchemical center that transmutes all of these, not into gold, into power, into light, into everlasting life. And so it is. As this circle is open yet unbroken, may us each walk with the peace, the love, and the power of the goddess, the truth of who we are. Spread it through our steps, through our touch and our thought, through our words and our mind. Embody it, radiate it, and open new realms, new times. Come back, but bring this with you. Walk in this new realm. Come back 9 times to complete this healing, and remember that you are one of us, and that we are a river of birds, of winged goddesses in migration that have finally landed. The migration is over. We are here in the time of the great rising. All the prophecies have pointed to this moment, and you are here for a very important reason. We honor you and thank you. We are a nation of divine, sacred goddess, witches, maidens, sisters, sorceresses, magicians, healers. We are a river of winged, divine beings of light, a nation of women with wings. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I don't know about you, but I am about 1,000 degrees. And I will have to come back and do this one again tonight. Don't rush yourself coming back. If you would like to see, you can come back and see some of the other beautiful images I shared. This is our final one. These are some more. This is our chalice. And this is a sacred feminine symbol of eternal life that's most famous for being in Egypt. However, this is you in the center, this eternal nature, bringing it down, extending it out, being in balance from above and below. This is the triquetra. It is an ancient Celtic symbol. You can see that it is a trinity, that is 3 eyes coming together with the eternal circle. Thank you so much for being with me. Woo, it's another long one. I don't like to limit our divine communication and connection. Ah, bellissima. The chalice gave me tingles on my skin. These chalices are quite magical, and I really want to bring the chalice into consciousness as something outside of the idea of Arthur and the knights and a lot of that very heavy masculine energy. There's some beautiful energies within that, because there is the quest, and the quest is for our truth, for our magic. And it isn't a quest for the blood of Jesus. It is the quest for the ability to resurrect yourself, the ability to remember who you are, the ability to create your own reality, and the ability to transform anything the way that we did today in the cauldron. Ah, beautiful. Thank you, Erica. Thank you. I do love the colors, Marty. Oh my goodness, ladies. Feeling seeing a multicolored lava flow slowly coloring the world and bringing new growth and overflowing. I love that. Pele. Thank you, Oshun. Thank you, Lucille. Thank you, my beloveds. Please share this, and I will see you on Friday for our full moon peace meditation. I do want to remind you, perhaps I have that here somewhere, of what peace means. Peace is a much different than what we think. The frequency, what do we call this? The state. That's it. I'm doing two things at once. The state of peace is a very important, and I get to go be with Maureen now. Woo, woo, woo. Is a state. So if you don't have the scale of consciousness, it is free in the shop, and you can also, of course, remember to you'll get it with anything that you do with me. And I'm looking here. Where are here we go. Some reason this is a very strange thing that this shows up. Oh, it shows up that way for a reason. Okay. I guess maybe I'm not going to see that today. Okay. So I wanted to share the scale with you very quickly. Here we go. Now I need to thinking and operating in a body after all of that is like, woohoo, this is fun. It's perfect, though, to go into my private session with Maureen because thank you. Still feeling the beauty. Well, I hope so. I think we're going to be feeling the beauty of this for a little while. All right, so let me share with you the scale. All right. So, as many of you already know, that the scale of vibrational consciousness comes from David Hawkins. Thank you. And this is mine. I've added to it. And I believe I added the state of peace. So, take a look way near the top at 600. Between joy, gratitude, enlightenment, above pure love. Oh my gosh. And peace is the state. The emotional body goes into bliss. The mind goes into serenity. Okay. And the process is the environment. What happens to you as you start to embody that, as you enter the state, is that you begin to become illuminated. And then you become an illumination for others. And then you radiate that illumination, and you're constantly going, whoa, I didn't know that. Oh, look at the light. And look at what they just did for us, was allowed us to clear all of these chakras in order to be more light. I really loved that. And the perspective that you have, what you see through, which is very important for your manifestation, is all being. Now you can see that below that is one. So at joy, you feel like you're one. And that's a wonderful state if you've ever felt that, I'm just one with everything. All being is different than one. All being isn't like, letting go and being one and forgetting who you are. It is, I am me and you are you, and we are all being everything at once. So it's a very multidimensional state. Okay, so we will be accessing that on Friday in our peace meditation for the full moon. And remember, on Saturday, we are going to have an incredible master class that I'm giving to everybody on divination, so that we can understand that doing oracle cards and talking to the birds and the bees and doing what we just did, and using your crystals and everything, isn't evil, and you aren't an evil demon if you do that. Okay. Love you. Bye. This is a very sacred crystal. So thank you for wishing to come forward. It is a smoky quartz, but it's called a Camadon crystal. It is from one of my mystery schools I attended, and we're not allowed to let anybody else touch it. So it is programmed with a very, very enormous Camadon crystal. And hi, there you are. Oh my goodness, from Alton, my divine teacher. All right, darlings, have a beautiful and blessed day. Yummy. Yes, I'm so glad you downloaded Big Energies. You're so welcome, Margan. I love you. Sending you hugs and kisses. It's been such an honor to travel with you. I hope that you'll join me soon, and I will see you again. Ciao, everybody. Take care. Oh, Josie, my love, my beautiful, beautiful mastermind sister. You are so fucking awesome. Well, wow, thank you. You're so fucking awesome too. Isn't it great that we're all so fucking awesome? Oh, wow, I love this. I did too. And if you didn't see the soul lineages, even if it takes you a little while to get through those readings, oh my God, it's a whole new level of power. As you can see that every I go through then opens me to be a channel to a whole another level of energies, which then when you come into the circle, that happens again. So if anybody would like to speak with me about manifesting a retreat for any reasons, oh, I don't know how to get there, or I'm afraid to travel, or I'm worried about money, or I'm worried about people, or my children, or my dog, whatever it is, come, let's talk, let's look into the mists, let's call on these beautiful guides, let's see who is here. And if it is optimal for you to come in October, and I'll be sharing a little bit more about some other things I'm doing there. And it's just pure magic. And make sure that you check out the playlist for Avalon. And if you haven't seen the shows that I did with Maria Wheatley, who is a BBC TV, Gaia TV, History Channel TV star, she's amazing. She is going to be with us for 2 days. I am paying this incredible expert, Druid, Celtic sister goddess, to come and show us and teach us how to find the energies, to find the places where we get our chakra activation with Mary Magdalene in the Abbey, where we're reflecting in the pool, where we're going up the tour, and a lot of other things. I love it too, Lisa. Oh, my soul lineages were amazing. Yes, they are, aren't they? Oh my gosh. Amazing. All right. Take care, everybody. Ciao.